Los Cabos, Mexico, down at the southern tip of the Baja Peninsula. One of Mexico's most popular tourist destinations is also one of its newest cities. But there's a unique history here that dates back centuries.
The pirates used to come and hide right there in the bay of Cabo San Lucas.
I'm following chef and food historian Edi Gimenez off the beaten path to find traces of that European pirate influence still alive today. It's the same technique as pizza. I'm taking that European influence into my kitchen too, with a mouth-watering, cheesy, veggie-loaded Mexican lasagna. Look at all those layers! And a crispy and plump shrimp salad topped with the tastiest roasted vegetable vinaigrette. You have to make this lasagna in your home. You do, you do, you do.
Dame tu piloncillo, dame café caliente, dame tu corazón.
I love dishes where you can get many things in one forkful. And lasagna is just perfect for that because you have different fillings, you have the sauce, you have the crispy cheese on top, you have the soft pasta, and I am making an outrageous veggie-loaded Mexican lasagna. And you are going to love it. We are going to make 2 different fillings, 1 sauce and 1 topping, and we are not gonna get frazzled because I'm gonna walk you through it. The first thing we're gonna do is a salsa roja. I'm gonna add 2 pounds of ripe Roma tomatoes. So this is a traditional Mexican salsa roja. Very basic, but really delicious. 2 serranos, 2 garlic cloves, just enough water to cover my ingredients. And I'm gonna place it over medium-high heat. And I'm just gonna cook these until the tomatoes are really, really soft and mushy. For my first filling, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter. My kids love lasagna. So when we're not eating tacos, my boys are asking either for pasta or for lasagna. And I think they have the same cravings as I do when they're hungry. They wanna have something that has a lot going on in the same baking dish. I'm gonna add 2 cups of thinly sliced leeks, 1.5 cups of thinly sliced scallions. And if you notice with these 2 ingredients, they're like mild versions of onion. And the leeks are just lovely and, people don't use them that much. I love leeks. When people think about Mexican food, they really don't think much about vegetable options or grains or beans. People usually think meat, cheese, tacos. And it's true, we love meat, we love cheese, we love tacos, but we have a universe of possibilities when it comes to veggie side dishes and fillings. I'm gonna chop 2 garlic cloves. Lasagna is always a crowd pleaser in my house, and I mean, everywhere I go, and I think it speaks about a lot of people coming together to eat lasagna because lasagna is always big and it's always meant to share. And when you make it Mexicana, it says even more things. The next thing that I'm gonna add is 1/2 pound of sliced mushrooms. Mushrooms usually scream for a lot more salt than other vegetables because they're so watery and spongy. So I'm adding a teaspoon of salt, some freshly ground black pepper. I want to quickly sear before they start letting out their juices. It's very easy to just make them bland. You have to help the mushrooms to shine. And I think browning really does it, and butter definitely helps. I have here 1 pound of baby spinach that I just blanched in hot boiling water. You have to make sure that you really, really strain the spinach because I don't want a soggy lasagna. Yes, the lasagna is gonna have fillings and sauce and it's supposed to be wet inside and crispy on top, but it has to be the right kind of sauce and moisture. I don't want it to be soaked in spinach liquid. So I'm pressing as much as I can, and you have to press a lot with the spinach, and you can see how much liquid is still coming out. And I'm watching my veggies here. Oh, look at these. You can see how beautiful the mushrooms are browning. I'm going to mix here 2 eggs with 2 cups of ricotta cheese because we are going to make these spinach mushroom leek scallion layer be cheesy and thick and puffy. Then I'm gonna add the 2 cups of ricotta cheese. We want it to cool before we add it to the ricotta and the egg mixture because we don't want it to cook the egg and the ricotta mixture. Okay, now I'm gonna continue making my tomato sauce or my salsa roja. And I have here my cooked tomatoes. Super soft, super mushy. The skin has come off, and I am dropping everything in here. I think that's another thing that Italians and Mexicans have in common. We just love our tomatoes. And we love our tomatoes ripe and soft and juicy and sweet. And then I'm also adding the garlic cloves. So I have my 2 chiles, and I'm going to add 1 first. I want to add heat a little at a time because I want to make sure that it's the heat amount that I want. A teaspoon of salt, just a slice of an onion. You know what Mexicans use this salsa roja for? Everything. Enchiladas, chilaquiles, tacos, quesadillas, just like this. For everything. Taquitos, carnitas, everything. I'm gonna taste for heat. It's spicy. It is so spicy. So I am not gonna add this other chile. I'm gonna set my saucepan over medium heat, and I'm gonna add a tablespoon of vegetable oil. So once it's hot, we're gonna shock the sauce. We're gonna let it season and thicken. I wanna add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Because it's gonna go in the lasagna, I want it to be much thicker and much more intensely flavored. And then I'm gonna add a cup of vegetable broth. And then we're just gonna let this cook for 3 to 4 minutes. We're gonna turn it off. And this is our salsa roja. My spinach mushroom leek scallion mixture has cooled. I'm gonna start adding my egg and ricotta mixture, a little bit at a time. Oh, look how pretty. As it bakes between the lasagna sheets, that egg and ricotta are gonna cook as in quiche. They're gonna make volume. I'm gonna add some black pepper and another teaspoon salt because we added a lot of cheese and eggs. And now we're going to make the next layer. And the next layer is gonna have more of my favorite Mexican ingredients. It's going to have zucchini, it's going to have corn, it's going to have poblano peppers. I don't want soggy, wilted zucchini that has no room in my lasagna, nor yours. And when I cut into the zucchini, you can see all the water that's coming out. I mean, look at all the drops. As I slice it, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here because I want it to start heating. So we have 1 zucchini, we're gonna do 2. And then we're gonna season the zucchini with salt and pepper. So when you sear the zucchini, you are making it lock whatever moisture is gonna stay inside. And we just want them to brown quickly on one side and the other. They browned really nicely. So, yes, you could grab, all of these ingredients and blanch them, and you could throw them in a lasagna, but then what's the point? You need to make sure that everything you add in there is irresistible. So let me add some more oil and butter to the pan. So for this lasagna layer, I'm going to cook some onions with poblano and corn. We're gonna do 1.5 white onions. It may seem like a lot of onion to you, but it's not because it's gonna wilt. You don't want stingy, thin fillings. You want chubby, substantial fillings. I'm adding 4 poblano chiles that I've roasted, peeled, and thinly sliced. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. This is such a classic Mexican combination. It's used in so many ways. If you added cheese, you could have the most spectacular quesadillas. If you threw in some shrimp or some chicken or some beef tips, fajitas. And the last thing I'm gonna add here is some corn. Just gonna shave my kernels of this corn. I'm gonna cook these for like 10 seconds because I don't wanna overcook the corn and I still want it to be crunchy. I have everything I need, my fillings, my sauce. I'm just gonna cook my pasta and I'm going to be ready to build. The inspiration for this lasagna, a fusion of Mexican and Italian cuisines, comes from an unlikely place, Los Cabos, one of Baja Peninsula's most popular tourist destinations, right down at the bottom tip. Luxury hotels, fine dining, shopping, sailing, all in the comforts of a beautiful blue bay. But just off the beaten path, away from Cabo's modern exterior, restaurateur and food historian Edi Gimenez is discovering traces of a rich culinary history.
People who used to come for vacations, they used to say that there was no history in Baja or no history in Los Cabos because everything seemed new. When I started working in restaurants, I knew it was more than what they say it was.
Edith began working in Cabo San Lucas as a waitress when she was a teenager. Today, she owns and operates some of the most successful restaurants in Cabo. But her passion for Baja's culinary history has led us to the tiny village of Miraflores, just a short drive away from Cabo.
Cabo has always been so important because it's famous histories where the pirates used to come and hide right there in the bay of Cabo San Lucas.
The perfect
if you see,
place to
it's
hide.
a hide. Exactly.
As Edith explains, some of those pirates, including Europeans from England, France, and Italy, actually stayed and settled in with the native and Spanish people already living in the southern tip of the peninsula, like right here in Miraflores. So tell me about the combinations that have given us the food that you are now finding.
Yes. In my research, the missionaries combined whatever they had then, and they adapted from what they have here in the time.
And because tasting history is always better than just talking about it, Edith is taking me to the home of one of her very good friends, Leti. You found an old recipe that tells a little bit of the past history of Baja in Leti's family?
Yes. Eso lleva un poquito de trabajo, ¿verdad?
No importa, as long as it's delicious, so
Así
it's
es.
the links, no?
Sí.
There's links to the future,
Sí,
you're
exacto.
finding the links to the past.
Platillo se llama sopa fresca.
You're making masa, but not like for a flour tortilla. This is masa like for pasta.
Sí,
So it's that Mediterranean, Italian, Spanish influence, right?
Correcto.
¿De dónde viene el nombre Miraflores?
hasta donde yo sé, hace, pues, cuando el pueblo había la gente los nativos de aquí,
Ajá.
decían que aquí llegaban y decían que miraban unas mujeres muy bonitas.
Ah,
Entonces, decían, no, es que vas allá, vas a mirar puras flores.
Oh.
Porque había muchas mujeres con unos ojos muy hermosos.
oh.
Sí.
you didn't know these recipes before, you're learning them as you go.
Yes.
It's the same technique as pizza. ¿Y lo hacemos aquí o lo hacemos allá?
No, ese es
allá.
allá,
Ok.
sí. De palo no.
Ok. Tienes tu...
poquito de aceite, los ajos.
So a few garlic cloves that we slice.
Sí, chile, tomate y cebolla. Entre más tiempo pase, va quedando sin jugo.
Oh, so Letty's telling me, just like the Italians, this soup that seems to be like a pasta soup, you have to eat it right when it's ready, right when it's al dente. So thank you, Italy, but you're welcome for the chiles that go in there.
La verdura se le echó únicamente para darle sabor.
Okay.
Este consomé tiene tomate.
Italians need to come to Baja to try this sopa fresca or pasta soup because it has so much personality con el chile coloradito. I mean, it's great that she's researching for these recipes. She's traveling all over to find them and saying, that's great she's doing that. It's great that you're sharing them, and it's really great that I'm eating them. Y con café.
Ya.
So we have everything ready, and now it's time to build. I took my lasagna noodles out of the boiling water, and I drizzled a little bit of olive oil so they wouldn't stick to one another. I already buttered my baking dish. So I'm gonna add about a half a cup of the salsa roja so that the lasagna is not dry at the bottom. Layering the noodles. I'm gonna add half of this mushroom spinach ricotta filling. So this first layer is gonna be a little bit spongy and cheesy. And then I'm adding my second layer, which is the poblano, caramelized onion and corn. Having a lasagna with all these layers of Mexican ingredients is making me really happy. Then I'm gonna layer half of the zucchini slices. And to this layer, I'm adding about a cup of the salsa roja. And then we're gonna repeat. Last layer of lasagna noodles. And then I'm gonna add what remains of my tomato sauce. And then we're gonna add 2 cups of Oaxaca cheese, which is mild and melts really nicely. I'm gonna add a cup of queso cotija, which is like Mexico's version of Parmesan. It's dry, salty. This is what a lasagna should be like. It should be tall, overflowing. And now you wanna make like a little tent with the foil because I don't want the cheese as it melts to stick to my aluminum foil. Let's pretend that the lasagna is going camping. I have my oven at 375 and I'm going to bake my lasagna for 40 minutes. I'm gonna remove the foil and then I'm gonna put it back in for another 20 minutes so that the cheese really melts and browns. We need a salad to go with our lasagna, and so I'm gonna make something really new. Because when I went to the Baja Peninsula, I got so inspired to try new things and to mix ingredients that I know in different ways. So I'm gonna make a dressing, and I'm gonna roast some vegetables to be the base of that dressing. I'm gonna chop about 1 cup of red onion. This is gonna be a very different salad because I'm combining ingredients that have strong yet different personalities, and I'm going to make them be friends while they roast in the oven. And then I'm gonna add some shallot. And you know, I don't usually combine red onion with shallot, but they go really nicely together. Jalapeno, and I'm keeping the seeds and the veins. And then I'm gonna try to get about 2 tablespoons of this fresh ginger. A half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of vegetable oil, teaspoon of salt. My oven set at 450, and I'm just gonna roast these for 10 minutes. I love it when the cheese browns like that. So it needs to rest for like 10 minutes before I can cut into it. So back to my salad. I'm gonna top that salad with some shrimp. I'm just gonna season these really big shrimp with salt and pepper. Growing up, shrimp was always seen as a delicacy. I mean, shrimp was quite expensive in Mexico City. A few times we went to hotel buffets, and you know how they always have the shrimp station? My dad used to say, you need to go get the shrimp. And he would say, I don't know if I want it, but there's shrimp. He's like, if there's shrimp, you have to eat it. I'm gonna get my vegetables that have been roasting out of the oven. This is a happy oil. I can smell the ginger and the jalapeno and the shallot and the red onion. So I'm gonna let them sit here for a minute while I take my shrimp off of the grill. Perfecto. Okay, I'm gonna put together my vinaigrettes. 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar, a teaspoon of honey, about 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm gonna try to get the oil first without all of the veggies. And all of that is going into the vinaigrette, so there's no reason why you should have a boring vinaigrette ever. I have my Boston lettuce. The shrimp are just gonna go everywhere. Because we need something crunchy. Cashews on top. Sounds good. Whoa! Look at all those layers, and it smells. Look! How pretty! How pretty! How pretty! I'm gonna start with the lasagna. It has so many veggies. Super veggie powered. It's really awesome. Come see, because you have to see. It has that cheesy crust, that mushroom, spinach, ricotta cheesy layer. It's so fluffy and kind of spongy. And then the rajas and onion and corn layer with all that tomato base. You have to make this lasagna in your home. You do. Let me try the salad and the shrimp. So light, and it has all those flavors from the roasted vegetables, but they're so nuanced and suave and just are wrapped around the shrimp in such a delicious way. And the shrimp is plump and really crisp, and I have so much food. I mean, look at this salad. It's like for 10 people. I don't want to eat this all by myself. You guys, Kev, join me. See, success.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I wanted lasagna all day.
I know. It has so much cheese.
Lots of cheese.
I'm so happy with it.
Kevin, you're missing
Kevin! We have to feed Kevin. This one is for Martita.
And I'm gonna get one for Danny.